Hello, folks, and welcome to the Counting Sheep podcast. This is episode 27, and my name is Ruth. I'll be your host, and welcome to yet another glorious Vermont day here on the farm. I'm coming to you from my backyard, and with my co-host Cooper, my golden retriever. He's walking around behind me. He might come up and take a look into the camera once in a while. There he is. Welcome all of you, my returning listeners, as well as new folks. I'm glad you're here. If you like something or something resonates with you, please let me know and hit that like button and subscribe so that you can take part in other episodes and view other things. My podcast is mostly about what I get up to with crocheting and knitting, as well as spinning yarn, and life on a small sheep farm in Vermont. My husband and I keep a very small flock of sheep, 4 of them to be exact, and some chickens for fresh eggs. We also have, like I said, Cooper, my golden retriever, and 1 house cat, Dora. So yeah, last weekend was a big holiday weekend here in the States. We had Memorial Day, and in Vermont, it's the first weekend you can really safely put plants out that are kind of sensitive to frost. So now there's no more danger of frost, hopefully, fingers crossed, although I'm told that, it has been possible in June here. Yeah, so I planted my entire vegetable garden last weekend. I split it up amongst the days, but it was still hard work. Yeah, if this podcast doesn't go too long, I'll put some footage in at the end and I'll show you what I put in if you're interested in that. But yeah, that was fun. That's my contribution to digging in the dirt around here. That was last weekend. And now we have June, so it's wonderful to kind of be rolling into the summer months here in the Green Mountain State. Today I have a bunch of stuff to show you. I always start off with crocheting, get into a little bit of knitting, and then spinning, and then any kind of acquisitions or shenanigans that I get up to here and around the farm. So I'm going to start with crochet. If you've been with me for the podcast, for the past couple podcasts, I've been showing this shawl that I started that was inspired by Claudia from the Sunbird Crochet podcast, and it's called the Take 2 shawl. I just want to show you a picture of it, the pattern itself. This is quite a colorful shawl. It uses 5 different fingering weight yarns. And it's by Mariana Mueller. That's who designed it. And she goes by Sweet Crochet Dreams. So yeah, there's hers. And I got kind of hung up, if you recall, after the first section. The first section has a lot of texture to it, and then there is a slip stitch section in between every section of the shawl, and slip stitch and I don't get along all that well, although we've made our peace. I'm getting better at it. I just have to keep reminding myself to keep it loose so that I'm not struggling with every single row. But then I moved on to the next section, which was all stripes, and I have chosen quite some radical colors for this shawl. So the jury's still out as to how this is all gonna pan out at the end, but I'll let you have a look here. So this is my first section. This kind of neon green color, and then it moves into the slip stitch section, and then this is the stripe section, which uses all 5 of the colors. So I think they play off of each other when they're in the shawl. And then we have them in the ball. You would think, how could you put all of those colors together? But here you go. So these are the colors I have. Kind of hard to keep them all on my chest here. Yeah, so when they're placed in stripes, it seems like they start to play better together. So yeah, it's either going to be quite an eye strain or a statement piece. So let me know what you think. It's kind of pretty bright, but I think once you keep going with it, it's going to all kind of come together. I have enough gray in here to kind of neutralize it all out. But yeah, it's a fun pattern. I'm enjoying it. It used 3 different hook sizes, a 3mm hook, 3.5, and then a 4.5mm hook. So 3 different hooks to kind of keep the gauge from going crazy on you. But yeah, I've been having fun with that. And we'll see. I'm in another slip stitch kind of transition here. And it's gotten easier for me. I have to just mentally tell myself to keep it loosey-goosey. Otherwise, I get tortured trying to work the hook into the stitches. So that goes for another stitch called waistcoat stitch, or they call it also central single crochet, where you're actually inserting the hook into the center of the stitch rather than the top loops of the stitch. You have to keep that one pretty loose as well. So yeah, so that's my Take 2 shawl by Mariana Mueller. And yeah, stay tuned. I think that's going to be kind of a slow burn, you know, like I'm going to do a section probably per episode and see how it all kind of comes together in the end. All right, so the next whip I want to show you is my Jeanin, which is I'm going to nickname it the Never Ending Project. However, I did make quite a bit of progress on it, and I'm happy to say that I have a sleeve done. Woo! So yeah, so this is the Jeanin. This is a pattern originally published in Morit Magazine issue 3. It is now available on Ravelry. It's a fingering weight Tunisian crochet top-down sweater. And it's basically done in Tunisian simple stitch the whole way. But I think it's kind of ingenious how the increases are placed, as well as the fact that it's all done in the round. Tunisian is fun because once you do a return pass, you can take your hook out and kind of you know, put a stitch marker in that last loop, and then you can leave it somewhere and hopefully nothing will pull out if you have that stitch marker in that last hoop. But yeah, one more sleeve to go here. And if I keep cracking at it, it'll be done the next time. I know I've been saying that for weeks now, but truly, this is the only sweater I'm working on right now, and that should come to pass, that it should be completed. But yeah, love the finishing on it. Very simple finishing, and still needs my little maker tag there in the back. But yeah, this is fun. This is a fun make. Again, here's the picture. You can't really see that it has long sleeves in this picture. I am using, I believe, yeah, an Tunisian crochet hook, 5.5mm, with a nice swivel cord on it. And I've shown you the yarn a bazillion times. This is Blue Blooms. It is a sock weight yarn, and the base is called Squishy Sock. It is from bluebarnfiber.com, and I have this skein and this skein, which will be more than enough. Matter of fact, I don't even think I'm going to get into this skein at all, which I'm kind of happy about because I'd like to make some socks out of this. So that'll be cool. And yeah, so that's my Genin. And next time around, hopefully that'll be the last time we speak of such things. And then finally, I wanted to show you in crochet something I've been working on in the background, because there's a lot of make-alongs going on right now, and I like to dip my toe in once in a while to a good make-along. And one of the YouTube podcasters, Linan from Nina's Knots Crochet, is having a Tunisian crochet along right now, and it just intrigued me so much because it is a shawl, and it's called the Tunisian Sampler Shawl. Here, let me show you the pattern. And it basically takes you through a whole bunch of different Tunisian stitches, and I thought it would be fun to practice a whole bunch of different Tunisian stitches and then also have a shawl at the end of it. So this is a free pattern on Ravelry, and let me just show you. Let me make sure I don't have another picture here. Here it is. Yeah. All right, so here is it on a hanger. And so pretty much each color section is a different Tunisian crochet stitch. And it uses 8 different colors of DK weight yarn. So I use this also as a good stash buster because I had a whole bunch of different skeins of DK weight yarn, all different fiber contents. A lot of them had cotton in them, so I thought that would be good for a shawl. Here's another picture of it hanging in a different fashion. And Nina's TCAL, she's calling it, Tunisian Crochet Along, started back in May. I forget which day exactly it started, but she has extended it to the end of June, so there's still time if you want to jump in. She is on Facebook, and like I said, she is on YouTube. Her YouTube channel is Nina's Knots Crochet, and by golly, that lady puts out 4 podcasts a week. I think she does Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just little short bursts of things that she's doing in terms of crochet. But anyway, let me show you this shawl because I've been having a blast with this. So here's the top of it. There we go. So this here, this kind of brown and white section is section 1. And then you move into section 2, section 3. Section 4 was a bit of a basket weave stitch, which was just fascinating. And right now what I'm working on is a version of the brick stitch, which uses 2 colors. One color on the forward pass, and then the different color on the return pass. So yeah, you are breaking yarns at the end, as you can see, but it's not too onerous to work those under at the end. So like I said, 8 different colors of DK. I encountered just one little problem when I was doing the basket weave here, this section. I ran out of yarn. I had more than enough yardage to finish it according to the pattern, but I still ran out. Now I'm not sure whether that's because of my gauge or the type of yarn that I'm using, but I managed to fudge it. I went and ordered more of this yarn because this was a Green Mountain Spinnery yarn, but when it came, it was just so far off in color. I luckily had been making a commission item at the time, and that yarn pretty much was a match. And it did have cotton in it, as this Green Mountain Spinnery yarn does, but it had a higher cotton content. But I'll tell you, I don't think you can really see Like it was the last row and a half. I just needed that much more, and it's frustrating playing yarn chicken like that. But anyway, I really don't think you can tell that I used a whole different yarn on the last row and a half. So right in here. Plus with this kind of shawl, I think you're looking at the whole effect of the design and the stitches, so you can kind of get away with it. Yeah, but I am so chuffed with this. It's so fun, and it's great to learn new stitches in Tunisian. It's just kind of a different avenue of crochet that I'm really enjoying. So highly recommend. Once again, that is the Tunisian sampler shawl. I didn't give you the designer's name. God bless her. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. Her name is Haley Joanne Robinson. Yeah, so check it out, especially if you have some stash you need to burn through. It's really nice. All right, so that's it for the crochet stuff. I'm going to move along to knitting. I have a finished object, and I'm sure you all are anticipating this. I had to buy another, whoops, sorry, I'm going to move the camera here a little bit. I had to buy another skein of yarn to finish this, and it's blocked and it's done. This is my Buggy Flora beanie, which is last year's 2023 Shetland Wool Week hat. And this is done in Jamieson's of Shetland yarn, which is a fingering weight yarn. And it's done in these 6 different colors. So the main color, the tan, is what I had run out of, and that is cashew. And then we have rust, we have sunrise, we have ginger, this is mustard, and the last one, the green, is ivy. So yeah, those are the colors of the Buggy Flora in Jamieson's of Shetland. I'm so happy it's done. I will get to wear it now when I go to Shetland in July. I think I'm gonna need it. When I was riding the ferry out to Martha's Vineyard, going on 2 weeks ago now, my hair was really whipping around, so I think the ferry in the North Sea is probably going to be a little bit more windier, and so is probably the island as well. But yeah, it looks great. I love it. Whoop. Yeah, so just a little peek at it. Yeah, this was a fun make as well. I like doing small color work and changing colors, and keeps it very interesting. So yeah, finished object, and just loving it, really. This is the pattern. I think you can get it on their website for maybe $1 or £1. And there are other colorways too. This is the J&S colorway here. It's kind of got a lot of blues to it. They also have it in Uredale yarns, which is another Scottish yarn. Yeah, so pretty fun. Excuse me. I think I used a number 3 rounding or circular needle for that, and then once I got up to the top with the decreases, I went down to double point needles. So yeah, I think that'll be going into an Afghan, some of these leftovers here. All right, so finished object. And then I wanted to show you another warm weather type of knitting project that I started. I've mentioned before that I've taken classes, online classes with Pam Grushkin, who is a wonderful instructor. She teaches and manages teaches at and manages a knitting store now in Southern Connecticut. and she recently moved up from Florida. But she has been doing the online thing for a while now, since the pandemic, when we were all online for everything. And I just like her style. I enjoy learning from her. And this, of course, you know, I always say this, like, I don't need another shawl, and yet I like shawls because they're just easy on, easy off, you know, and if you get a little chilled, and you can just throw one on. And I have so many, but I do gift a lot as well, so. But the one shawl venue that I have not ventured into is Stephen West's shawls. And when Pam put out the email that she was going to teach his Fiberfest shawl, I couldn't resist. Little did I know that it has brioche in it, but that's okay. I don't normally do brioche, and I'm actually glad that it has brioche in it. I took a class long ago in brioche, and I was able to do it, and I was fine. But then after that, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm good, you know. But Pam is great. When people say brioche, it kind of strikes terror into the heart of many. Basically because if you screw it up, it's hard to take out, and it's hard to determine. It can be difficult to determine where you are. But what Pam does is have us actually practice on scrap yarn, or, you know, leftover yarn from something else, so that we can actually get into the rhythm of the brioche, and before we start with our regular yarn on the shawl. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the Fiberfest shawl, if you are not familiar with it. Stephen West, if you don't know, is known for his very unique shawl designs. He uses yarn overs as a stylish element in his shawls, and he loves a bunch of brioche. So, and he really is kind of a genius when it comes to putting it all together and making it all work, I think. But anyway, there is brioche in this. If you look at this closely, you can it's hard to tell on this, but it's all those pink bands. Those are all brioche there. So Pam had us practice brioche. This is on some worsted weight yarn. I thought I'd really play it safe, so that, you know, big stitches, so I could actually see what I was doing. So that's one side, and this is the other. Obviously, this is 2-color brioche. Yeah. And while Stephen West even himself really spells out the technique in his patterns and then supports it as well with his own videos, it's always nice to get Pam's take on this, you know. And I was very grateful to sit there and do this for a while. It was actually quite relaxing. So anyway, I want to show you that this is a 3-color shawl. It uses 3 different fingering weights of yarn. And my first color is from Dirty Water Dye Works. This is a dyer in Boston. And this is the 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And this is the Bayberry colorway. So a nice green. And then my second color is from Hope Made Yarn Co. And she hails from New Jersey. This is her Cobblestones, that's the colorway. So a nice earthy, it actually fits in with my backyard. It has all the colors in my backyard in it. And this is also 80% extra fine superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% recycled nylon. So there's a cashmere theme here. The third one, and you're gonna laugh, I have no idea what this yarn is. I lost the ball band. It was sitting in stash as a lonely skein. And so, but I adore the yellow in this, and just thought it would make a nice shawl, the three of them together. Yeah, so let me show you what I'm up to here. So we started with color number 1, which was my Bayberry down here, the Dirty Water Dye Works. And then went into the cobblestones from Hope Made Fiber. Hope Made Yarn Co. And then for the Brio, she introduced the yellow color, which I have no idea the fiber content or who produced it, but you gotta love that yellow, especially on the reverse side. It really kind of shows itself. But there is truly a right side and a wrong side to this shawl. And here are some yarn overs, something that Stephen West is known for. So yeah, our second class, I missed the first class. I was in at Martha's Vineyard for the first class, but Pam tapes the classes, so I was able to view it later on, and so tomorrow, Tuesday, is going to be the second class. So yeah, lots of fun, and yeah, I'm having a ball with it. If you're interested, Pam Grushkin can be found on the internet as Pam Grushkin Knits, and she has many classes. She does sweaters, she does techniques like Portuguese style knitting. She does that, and also she has just classes that if you need help with something, just in general, like you come across a problem in your knitting, she will meet with you and help you out. So yeah, check her out, and check out the Fiberfest shawl. And like I said, I'll be working on that now that the warm weather has settled in. So yeah, that's good stuff. All right, and finally in spinning, I just wanted to share with you, I did get my fiber back from the mill. We sheared our sheep in March. I got all the fleeces skirted, and then I shipped them off to the Cattywampus Fiber Mill in Maine. And I picked up my clean fiber actually at the New Hampshire Sheep and Wool Festival. And my two friends, Tammy and Kendra, helped me hoof it back to the car. So thank you, ladies. And I brought it home. It was in big bags, and I measured it out in 4-ounce quantities. But I just thought I'd share it with you. This first one is from my Blue Face Luster girl. And her name is Mala. So this is BFL fiber, 4 ounces. Yeah, and so I put it in 4-ounce allotments because usually that's how people sell their fiber, is in 4 ounces. So yes, this is a nice kind of an off-white and soft. The next is my gray girl. This is a Finn Shetland cross, light gray, and her name is Sierra, and she has kind of a panda markings to her face. So yeah, that's her. And then my other Shetland Finn Shetland cross is Gillyflower, and she's a darker gray. And then finally my pure Shetland girl, this is Fiona, and she is what they call Morit in Shetland, which is this nice chocolatey brown color. So yeah, it's also very nice. The mill washed it, carded it, and basically put it into roving for me. So this is ready to spin. And yeah, it's just ready to go, which is kind of where I'm at this point in my life with spinning. I have taken a full fleece from the back of a sheep to product, and it is a lot of work. So I respect people who actually make their living off of cleaning the fiber and preparing it for spinners. And so I'm glad to have found Cattywampus Fiber, the farm up in Maine. And it's nice to meet the people who are processing your fiber too. So it was nice to meet up with those folks when I was at New Hampshire Sheep and Wool. So I think that's going to do it for me this time around, folks. So if you like something that you see, let me know. Leave a comment. I usually get back to people right away with comments. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. And until next time, take care of yourself. Happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy spinning. And I will see you next time. Take care now. Bye-bye. So here we are in my backyard here in Vermont. This is June 3rd, and our irises just started to bloom about a day or two ago. These are just a few of mine by our stone wall here. And right over here is another one. I'm gonna take you out to my vegetable garden right now. And this is probably the sunniest part of the day for my garden. As you can see, we're pretty much surrounded in a lot of forest. We just have this little clearing here, which I tend to struggle with every year in terms of getting enough sun for all of my plants. Right here is the garlic that I planted last fall, and that's doing pretty well. Right here I put in some bush delicata squash. And over here, this is one of my raised boxes for some tomato plants that I grew from seed. All but this one. This was a store-bought one because the one that was there got snapped off pretty early by an errant branch, so I had to get the tomato cages up to protect them. Some pepper plants. And this is more bush delicata squash. And more pepper plants. Here are some more tomato plants. We love tomatoes, my husband and I, so we kind of like having a whole bunch during the summer. These are both two zucchini plants here. More pepper plants, and then in here is spaghetti squash. Some more tomatoes, and then right at the end I put, right at the end I put another zucchini. And then this is our yellow squash, or crooknut squash, otherwise known as winter squash. One of them already bit the dust. I find with gardening, you have to kind of take the adage, some things will live and some things will die. And that way you'll never be disappointed. Or your disappointment is limited. So anyway, these are more peppers. And then I put another spaghetti squash in there. We'll see how it does. It's in a bag. Just because I had the room for it in a bag and not in raised planters. And then over here are my peas, which is a new thing for me this year. Yeah, so we'll see how they do. I wasn't sure they were gonna come up. I planted them, you know, they're pretty early. They tend to do well even if We have a frost, so I'm told. But now they seem to be climbing on this mesh that I put out for them, so I am hoping that they will produce. So yeah, that is my garden, pretty much. More bush delicata in the bags there. So yeah, we shall see. Until next time, thanks for watching.